The following presentation is brought to you by the Realm Network.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to this special edition of a free SmackDown review. This is Vince Russo. I'm here with Jeff Lane, and let me please point out, it is almost 2 o'clock on the East Coast, and Jeff is doing this review. So I want to thank you, Jeff. I worked it, as you could see, Mercury Pro Wrestling Academy tonight. I didn't get home till late. I watched SmackDown as quickly as I could, and here we are. But it's not even midnight here in Colorado, but it's almost 2 o'clock by Jeff. So, Jeff, I appreciate you doing it this late.
Well, I take naps when I know we're gonna do a late show, so I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
And like you said, this is a free sample. This is what our VIP members get every single week. We're just putting one out there to let everybody sample it that haven't had the opportunity, but they get this review every single week on video as a VIP member for only 74 cents a week, $2.95 a month. Opt out at any time.
And you get not only a SmackDown review every week, you get a Raw review every week, and it's live. That's part of the Realm package. You could sign up by going to russosbrand.com. And plus, we have other exclusive videos that the audio does not appear on Podcast One. So, again, how this works is you could see all our Podcast One shows on video a day early through the Realm Network. You just sign up at russosbrand.com. As Jeff said, it's only 74 cents a week. You get a live Raw review. You get a SmackDown review the next day and other original content that you would not get on Podcast One. So let's talk about this. Let's talk about this show, Jeff.
Well, right, real quick before we get into SmackDown, I had to ask you this question because I didn't know where this would fit in. We got this great show going on, The Business of the Business, and for those that don't know, that's Vince's reality show. He's working with the Rocky Mountain Pro. It's a wrestling company in Colorado. Vince is writing their television. He's also working with the students at the school. And not only can you see the business of the business with all the behind the scenes, watching Vince, watching the trainers, all the people learning their crafts, we're also putting the actual episodes of the television show on ours as well, and it's called Charged. Well, there was this interesting comment that I wanted to bring up with you because I interacted a little bit with it, but this is from the latest episode of Charged, and somebody left this on the YouTube, and they're referencing the character of Humphrey Jacobs the First. Now, for people who haven't seen an episode with him in it yet, just kind of give them the quick 1 to 2 sentence description of Mr. Jacobs the First.
Oh, well, Mr. Jacobs the First is wealthy, and he wanted to be a wrestler, and he's stuck in the 80s. He's very, very, very charismatic and also very good, and very unique. That's how I would describe it.
Well, this comment, the gentleman said, I've only watched a few matches. The 2 women beating the men was totally unbelievable. Also, the HJ1 character, Humphrey Jacobs the First. Why would a millionaire be wrestling in this promotion? It's not believable at all.
Well, I don't know what being a millionaire has to do with what promotion you're working in. I mean, currently Tim Tebow wants to get into baseball. So is he going to be the starting center fielder for the Yankees because he's got money? Like, I
used a similar reference with Michael Jordan, pretty much along the same wavelength there.
I don't understand. He won the Colorado Cup because he lives in Colorado. So the Colorado Cup represented the state of Colorado where he lives. I don't understand this situation.
He says, he also continues on, and this is in some replies to me. I listen to wrestling podcasts, and Vince always talks about stuff being believable. Why would that guy be there? There's no money that's been put into his tights or anything.
He lives in Colorado. That's why he's here.
You can't pull off those types of characters to be believable without the budget to do so. His character doesn't fit the show. A millionaire being there is as believable as Finn Balor beating Roman Reigns.
Okay, I'm not getting the correlation. The guy lives in Colorado and he wanted to wrestle, so he went to the best wrestling organization in Colorado. Like I'm not getting it.
Yeah, the logic that this guy's trying to make is it doesn't make sense. Like, just because you're a millionaire, what does that mean? You're calling Vince McMahon and he's putting you in the WWE just because you have money. So, like, anybody out there listening to this, if you're a millionaire, is that what you can do? You want to wrestle? You don't start from a local place that teaches you how to wrestle. You just go to the WWE because you have a lot of money. Like, that makes absolutely zero sense. That's what I don't understand.
And as far as the two girls beating the guys, I think, first of all, that's the whole gimmick of Too Cool is these guys not too cool, two cool dudes. They think they're cool, two cool dudes, and they're really not. They're kind of two bumbling, fumbling idiots that kind of fall into the Rocky Mountain Pro Tag Team Championships. I mean, that's the story. So I don't know what you want me to, listen, whoever you are, wrestling's a work, bro. Like, it's not real. So we can write whatever we want to write. But the fact that the guy's got money, so I don't get that.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting. I wanted to get your thoughts on that comment.
Yeah. But he's a great character, bro. Humphrey Jacobs the first is a great freaking cat. What a talented guy. Just started in the business, bro. Like, he owns a what do they call that training? Cross training school. God, he picked up the business so quick. It's freaking unbelievable, bro. Unbelievable.
Yeah, and it might be episode 1 where he was talking with you about his rugby background and stuff.
Yeah,
and that's pretty interesting.
Yep.
So let's get to SmackDown. That's why we're here. The show opens up. Shane and Daniel Bryan having Randy Orton sign a contract because, why would it be signed already when SummerSlam's 5 days away? Of course, they're gonna sign it tonight. Heath Slater walks in, referencing what happened last week, and then we're getting it's implied that Orton is going to be wrestling Slater here. Miz TV, Ambrose, and Ziggler. So what did you think about this whole open?
Well, I'm just gonna start calling Shane McMahon George Hamilton. I'm just gonna start referring to him as George Hamilton because his freaking tan is freaking ridiculous. Stop already, please, Shane. Your sister's bad enough. Now you're gonna come on the show looking like George freaking Hamilton. I have no idea why they're giving Heath Slater so much time. Did they not understand that they beat this guy to death so he doesn't mean anything? This goes back to everything I say about protecting wrestlers. There's a reason you protect them, so they remain of value to you. The fact that they beat this guy to death, and now for whatever reason they've decided to give him all this kind of television time, on both shows. They beat the guy to death. He means nothing. And bro, and let me lead that into the main event or semi-main event at SummerSlam. Neither one of these guys mean anything because you beat them both to death. Just because Dean Ambrose wins the title, he doesn't all of a sudden become the greatest wrestler on the planet. I remember saying literally 2 months ago, I remember saying 2 months ago, Dolph Ziggler should just quit. Like they've just made him the jobber guy. He's just the jobber guy. So I'm sorry, bro. You've beat both of these guys so much and you failed to protect them that who freaking cares who wins? Who cares?
What'd you think of the promos back and forth, Ambrose and Ziggler on the Miz TV?
Bro, I thought the promos were fine, but I don't care about this match. If either guy wins the match, literally, I don't care. Like I said, bro, they've not protected either guy. Now all of a sudden they want these guys to mean everything. Like we're just supposed to wipe our memory clean. God, bro.
I like the super kick to finish this, though. I thought that was well done.
Yeah.
We see during the commercial, they did this twice tonight. I don't know if this is something they're playing around with, where whatever's going on during the they still continue during the commercial. So Apollo Crews came out, beat up Miz, and then we had a 12-man tag match, which, you know, this is just the way this is my opinion. I want your opinion. All they're doing with this American Alpha is just making them win matches and assuming that everybody's going to immediately love them. And that's usually, look at Roman Reigns. Okay, that's when people usually start turning on these people, when they don't do anything interesting. All they do is wrestle matches. Woohoo, yay, ha, I'm a big baby face. It's not going to get these guys over, in my opinion. So I wanted your thoughts on that. And also, it looks like that Ziggler, the super kick, is now his finisher, the way he's been booked. The Usos kicked like 3 super kicks in this match. I don't think other people should be doing super kicks if that's going to be Ziggler's finish.
Yeah. Well, Jeff, I could tell you this, and this is an absolute shoot. I'm watching the show, and as soon as they said the next contest is a 12-man tag team, I fast forward. Like, bro, I didn't even see the finish. I didn't care. I didn't care who was in the match. I didn't care what the finish was. The announcer might have said the next match is just TV time filler. Literally, because that's what it was. I'm not going to watch a match with 12 guys with no story. No, I don't care about who wins or loses. No build-up, no nothing. So, like, I didn't even know the alpha males won because I didn't even care who won the match, bro. And again, if I'm being harsh, so be it. Tell me one freaking story on this entire show. One freaking story. This is the story of this entire show, bro. Eva Marie backs out of matches. There's no other story on this entire show.
That's what I was confused about, too, because I thought the other part of that storyline, because that's next, so we might as well go right into it, was both times it was Becky Lynch she was supposed to wrestle. So she was making these excuses not to wrestle Becky. So I don't understand why Naomi was thrown in that spot tonight instead of Becky. I thought they should have been switched. Becky should have still been in this spot, and I think it should have been made that after Eva Marie backs out of this again with Becky, okay, now Becky's going to face Eva Marie at SummerSlam, and if Eva Marie doesn't wrestle at SummerSlam, there's some type of consequence. Instead, we're going to get a meaningless 6-woman tag with the women, but I felt like Naomi and Becky should have been switched in what they did this night.
Man,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, Jeff, I give you credit for caring that much about it. Like, I really do, because I don't give a shit. I mean, bro, I don't know what else to say. I don't give a shit, bro. Here's what I give a shit about. I'm glad Eva Marie came out so I could see her. Outside of that, I don't give a shit about any of this. Bro, I don't know how I'm supposed to care without any kind of a story. You have to give me like a little bit of a reason to care. I don't care who wins fake wrestling matches. I don't care. So, like, to me, you know, Eva Marie is freaking hot. She's got freaking sick abs. That's the only thing I cared about.
What did you think of Naomi's entrance?
I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I did too. So
but again, bro, it's like Becky Lynch lost last week, right? I believe.
Yeah, to Alexa Bliss. Yeah.
So Becky Lynch got her win back this week, right? So yeah. we're back even, Steven.
Yeah, I just thought, you know, it just seemed like they were doing a Becky Eva Marie storyline, and then all of a sudden it's not anymore, and that was just confusing to me. I don't know. So Del Rio and AJ Styles talking backstage because Del Rio's wrestling Cena tonight. We get a vignette that Kurt Hawkins is coming back with some feats that are impossible, but yet he's done them. Then it's Randy Orton versus Heath Slater. One of my major complaints was addressed in this match, so I have to put that over. I always complain that these wrestlers, the bookers make the referees look so unimportant and weak. The wrestlers never listen to them. The rules are not followed of the match. But here they did a finish where the wrestler did not listen to the referee, and so he stopped the match. So, you know, they probably did that just for where they wanted to go with the storyline, but I still like that. The referee was important. What the referee was saying was important. What just was unbelievable to me that the announcers did not realize that means Heath Slater got a contract. It wasn't even mentioned. Like if Randy Orton's DQ'd there, Slater won. Shouldn't they all realize that this guy, he gets the contract out of that?
No, because they don't care like us. They don't care. They don't care about Heath Slater, bro. That's the problem. If their own announcers don't care about the guy, how are we supposed to care? Bro, I got to tell you something. Rocky Mountain Pro, I'm doing a lot with the authority of the referees, bro. I'm so tired of the bullshit. You're going to see so many freaking changes there. It's going to a whole different level where the refs are going to have authority. The refs are going to have a set of balls. I'm so sick and tired of seeing this crap. But yeah, the announcers don't care about Heath Slater.
So then we go backstage, and Heath Slater thinks,
bro, why is this guy getting so much TV time? Bro, look at the spots. He goes out yesterday, he interrupts Lesnar. He busts an Orton promo. He's in a match with Orton, and then that's still not enough. He's in another pre-tape with George Hamilton after the like, are you kidding me? Like, I don't understand.
I don't know, but this was just hokey. I thought this was bad. I mean, there was a couple funny lines, but the fact that he thinks that Daniel Bryan is Mick Foley, he thinks that Shane is Stephanie. He says something about No Mercy, and this was so bad. And Daniel Bryan's like, "Oh, No Mercy, that'd be a great name for our October pay-per-view."
Yeah,
like that was so bad. And then Shane takes the contract away from him after he actually won the contract, because he thought he was Stephanie because he's got a concussion or whatever. That didn't make any sense to Shane McMahon's character.
I don't know.
I didn't get that. I didn't get that.
I don't know, bro.
So we get a confrontation during a commercial with Orton and Bray Wyatt. I think that would be an interesting program if done correctly. And then Ambrose wrestles Eric Rowan. Of course, Ambrose wins, and then Bray appears to leave Rowan in the dust, leaves his sheep mask on his chair, and walks off without him. Any thoughts on all that stuff? No. Okay. Women's match, Carmella and Becky Lynch versus Natalya and Alexa Bliss. Eva Marie comes back. Naomi, they do this runaround thing. Referee ignores it. Then this is another thing. The referee just ignores this. And then Becky Lynch gets her win here. See, like, this is what I didn't understand. Like, they did all this to make this 6-woman tag at SummerSlam, but they could have just had a better story if it was Eva Marie versus Becky. You know what I mean? After all they've done with that, I just don't understand the logic in that.
Well, maybe the logic of it is, bro, they don't feel she's good enough to have a match.
Yeah, that could be.
You know what I mean? So they're gonna bury her in a 6th man. I guess that's the logic.
Yeah. Corbin and Kalisto. I don't know what's going on with this. It's literally like 15 seconds an episode with these two, and it's the same thing as last week. He beats him up. Your favorite spot, the agents and referees come in and just yell and do nothing. And then when he starts talking again, they all hush. You notice that?
Yeah.
Like,
bro, I didn't even see that. I fast forwarded right through that. Like, I didn't even see that, man. Like, I'm like, oh, Corbin was on the show. Like, I didn't even see that.
Yeah, he just had Kalisto's head up against the wall and was just talking crap to him again. And it was just, I don't know. So Cena versus Del Rio. AJ's on commentary. Like, this match, man, this went 3 segments, 2 commercials. This match went way too long when you know John Cena's going to win. I mean, that's the thing. There's no way Del Rio's going to win this match. And it goes 3 segments, and then we got the stuff afterwards. AJ comes in, hits the forearm, and then this is, you're always talking about this, and I don't understand it. The babyface absolutely destroys the heel on the go-home show for the pay-per-view. So why do you want to see Cena go after AJ at the pay-per-view when he just annihilated him tonight?
God, I don't know, bro. I don't know. I wish somebody would explain that to me. Road Dogg or something, he DMs me. Road Dogg, if you can explain this to me, please let me know. This ain't the way we used to do business in the wrestling business, so I don't understand it. I don't understand it. Especially he put him through that table, right?
Yeah.
What else more can he do? I don't understand. What else more can he do to him?
Yeah. So
God, bro, is this like not the weakest SummerSlam? Like,
yeah, and then and I think this was. I know you didn't like last week's show, and I thought last week's show was okay, but I didn't like the majority of the show, and I feel like this was the weakest by far of the SmackDowns of the 4 shows since they did the split. And I mean, I don't know. Is everything that we saw we liked with the first couple episodes? What has happened here?
Well, there was unpredictability. There was a lot of unpredictability. Remember, there's been nothing unpredictable in the last 2 weeks. Nothing. That's a big part of it. What I really liked the first couple of weeks where they were doing things out of the norm they don't usually do. Now they're back to the norm.
Yeah, and I thought one thing I liked that they didn't even do tonight is I liked the Renee Young with the sit down thing, you know, at the table doing interviews with them. That they didn't do any of that tonight. I don't know. It just I wasn't. I'm glad the show was only 2 hours. 3 hours would have killed me. Yeah. And there's just too many confusing things for me that just didn't make sense logically. But I don't know. Final thoughts on the
I guess that, like, bro, like Daniel and Hamilton were like just absolutely useless. Like, what did they do on this show?
Yeah, they got Orton to sign a contract, and then they talked to Heath Slater, and that was it.
Yeah, I mean, like, why are they even there?
You know, and this is something like that I didn't understand. Also, I had this as a note, and I wanted your thoughts. Why wasn't Ambrose looking for Ziggler the rest of the show? You know what I mean? After the super kick.
Yeah.
He just goes out and wrestles Rowan, and it's like he doesn't care about Ziggler the rest of the show. Ziggler laid him out good at the beginning of the show, embarrassed him, and then the next hour and 50 minutes or whatever, he doesn't even care about
and he's the champ.
Right.
And he's the champ, bro. This ain't another wrestler we're talking about. What, bro? What did we just say? We don't care who wins, Ambrose and I was gonna say Slater, Ambrose and Ziggler, because they've beat both guys to death and failed to protect them. You just laid out another perfect example. The champ got laid. Can you imagine? Put Austin in Ambrose's shoes. Can you imagine Austin getting laid out at the top of the show and he does nothing? Can you imagine? Like, I can't even imagine that. Like, I couldn't even imagine pitching that to Steve. Okay, Steve, Rock's going to lay you out in the first segment. And then, then you come out later for a match and that's it. I couldn't even imagine pitching him that, bro. He would have looked at me like I had 3 heads. Well, that's what I mean. Did I not tell you that Ambrose came across the other day on that interview like he was kissing Vince's ass?
Yeah, you said that.
Oh, well, yeah, exactly, bro. You're going to let them book you that way and you're not going to say anything? Come on, man.
Well, I hope the first 2 episodes are what we're going to get going forward and not the last 2 episodes. But I don't know.
This SummerSlam, bro. It's like, oy vey. That's this Sunday. I got to sit through that.
That's this Sunday, and that's the one thing that people kept ignoring in this whole split was the watered downness of it. So, like, we're seeing this week to week. You got people that they're bumping up spots, but we know they're not going to win. You know what I mean? They're not going to win, and now they're in title matches. Dolph Ziggler's in a title match where, like you said, he's lost every single match for the past 4 months. Corbin absolutely destroyed him. We've got Finn Balor against Seth Rollins, and half the audience doesn't even know who Finn Balor is until 2-3 weeks ago. I mean, it's watered down. There's no star.
And bro, and I was the one that said early on, maybe with a split roster, they'll be able to focus more on the individuals they have. Bro, with this split roster, if there's been better storytelling, please let me know. Please let me know. Like, what story has come out of anything since the split? Look at Reigns and Rusev. Reigns just freaking went out there one week. I mean, that was it.
Well, we hope you enjoyed this. Remember, you can see this every week. russosbrand.com. As Vince said, you also get the Raw review. And I don't know if you mentioned, but the chat room is live and well when we're doing that review, and we take questions from the VIP members that throw questions at us in the chat during that show as well. So those are just two of the bonus content that you get as a video subscriber. russosbrand.com. It's only $2.95 a month. You can opt out at any time. I don't see any reason why you would. Our membership is always growing, so we appreciate you tonight. Vince, final thoughts before we
and remember, bro, like when we talk about the Realm Network and signing up, and we talk about the visual, remember on Thursday we're going to have Nick Dinsmore, Eugene, and his wife, Stephanie, who's currently Mrs. South Dakota, going for Mrs. America. Drop dead gorgeous. You'll be able to see her on Thursday. I think that alone, I mean, what'd you say, 74 cents, bro? Come on.
Yep.
And we also, too, we got ODB coming up. And I had to even, make a comment. Like, she has these huge boobs in the interview, bro. I had to even mention something to her. And you're not going to see it if you listen to it only. You got to see it, bro. You got to see what I'm talking about, for crying out loud, you know?
Yes, that's true. All right. Anything else we want to plug here? I think we pretty much did it all. Just listen, if you're checking us out for the first time, just go to russosbrand.com. That will take you any destination you need to go for whatever piece of our content you're looking for. It's all at russosbrand.com. So just head there.
And I will see everybody tomorrow on the Realm Network with a bucket full of chicken necks. And on Podcast One tomorrow will be what they saw on the Realm Network today, Raw Now and Then, with special guest Ed Ferrara, the episode where Vince McMahon pees his pants. Well, that is it, everybody. Hope you enjoyed the show. And again, if you want to get this podcast and the Raw review, just go to russosbrand.com, 74 cents a week. You can opt out at any time. We will see you tomorrow, same bat time, same bat channel.